most experienced player. So I've learned a lot from him, and I think he's like one of the main reasons I'm here now. At Summit 3, I thought I was the only reason our team lost because I just played so poorly. Fear helped me learn just to trust your teammates. He told me that the good players learn from their mistake and not get upset. Instead, they practice out, and that's how you become the best.
Sumail's definitely a confident player. He came in at 15 years old and somehow managed to win the biggest prize pool outside of the international. And a lot of that had to do with his confidence in himself. If he didn't have that, under all of that pressure, I think most players would have just crumbled.
All this fame, all this money, all this glory, it didn't change him. That's the best part of who he is.
He's really ambitious. He always been saying to his mom and dad, let me do this, and one day I'll make you all proud of me. And he's doing it. He's on his right path.
I'm excited about everything in my future, but I'm mostly more excited than anything else about winning TF5. TF5 is everything. You win this, you win everything.
Sumail there from Evil Geniuses. It's a terrific story. It's one of those spine-tingling stories that just raises the goosebumps on your arms every time you listen to it and see it. And I don't know if anyone can relate to that. It's very difficult, obviously, because of the background that he's come from. But has anyone got anything similar that they can kind of relate to?
He played Dota for more than half his life.
Yeah.
There's only a few people in competitive Dota that can say that. It is pretty insane.
Yeah.
It's very impressive.
And in terms of the way he's come through, and you know, fought against the odds just to even play the game is incredible.
Man, I only started playing the game when I was like 17, so it's amazing.
A year after he's here at the international.
Yeah.
It's incredible. I was going to also mention the fact that you in the French scene are looked up to, very admired by the French scene, obviously, and people look up to you as the sort of elder statesman almost now, as the man that they can get experience from. Fear is obviously another man that's got a similar role as well. And Sumail having that kind of experience and that kind of mentality in his team has to help tremendously.
Only a player like Fear can actually, help Sumail grow as a player, because Charlie, the EG's manager, he brought a really good point, which was it is very important in Dota to find the right balance between self-confidence and being open to criticism, and both clash all the time. You're like, if you're not confident in yourself, which means what you did was good, but, the environment or whatever, you need that confidence to actually be a good player. But on the other hand, yeah, and then when you talk to a player like Fear, or a player that you consider at least as good as you, but more experienced for sure, then you listen to him and you put aside all your ego or your confidence, and you're like, well, he's better than I am. He knows better. I'm just gonna listen to him, and all of us as Dota players, we arrived where we arrived and as far as we got only because we were open to criticism, and that's the only way. It's the only way to improve it, honestly. And everyone that's very not open-minded, very close to remarks, they don't get anywhere.
How does he? How do you think he takes all of this in? This media attention, adoration of fans, giant stadium, $18 million on the line, and he's 16 years old. It's very hard for me to comprehend what must go through his mind. But he seems, outwardly anyway, from the small amount I know of him, that actually he's a very confident young man, but also has some humility about him as well.
Well, it's hard for me to say because I don't know him personally, at least not really well. But the good thing about Dota is that it requires so much focus and so much preparation that you don't really get the time to, look at the crowd, like in-game, look at the crowd, watch. Now they get it because there's a pulse, so that might be a factor. But usually you don't. You just focus. You come, you play your game, you do your best, you win, you lose. End of story.
Okay. Anything to add to that, Melanie?
I mean, yeah, for Sumail, I think, or for a lot of Dota players, it's about a matter of respect. You're not going to listen to anyone that you don't have respect for, and this is why we generally view like the hot-headed players or the ones that are just really immature. They don't really grow in a Dota sense because they can never take advice from people. So I think that Sumail respects Fear, and that's why he's such a good role model and such a good leader and a mentor.
Yeah, I mean, to a certain extent, attitude is more important than the raw talent that you have. Like, having the right attitude is extremely important.
Because we were saying yesterday, most of the players at the top end are kind of at 99% capacity anyway, and it's just that last little bit, and this is part of it, isn't it?
Skill is like a requirement, and if you don't have it, then there's no point to even trying. But it's not going to make the difference at all, because all the players here are very good, and sure, it might make the difference in one of two moves, but it's the overall attitude, the communication. Dota is mostly about this, at this level at least.
Okay. Age not being a barrier, of course. Where do we get the next Sumail from? Where does that come from? It's got to be a conveyor belt.
Well, what was interesting to me about Sumail is that he's been playing since he's 6.
Yeah.
And a lot of people think that, I can just play Dota and get really good, be at TI in a year. But all these players have been playing, I would say, like minimum 6-7 years. That's like the very, very minimum. And Sumail's been playing for 10 years. He's 16, but he's still been playing since he's 6.
He's old man. He's an old man.
Yeah, old man Dota already. That's
Sumail.
brilliant. But the other thing is where you can have players from Complexity coming from Heroes of New Earth, for instance, and then coming into Dota 2, similar aspects to it, but different game. And still doing really well.
I mean, Heroes of New Earth started as a complete one-to-one copy, and then they added more from Dota. So it's a different game, but it plays out exactly the same. It's just a different environment. So I think if you're really good in Heroes of New Earth, you can easily make the switch. Yeah.
It's also it strengthens the point of the importance of skill, regardless to the rest. So those players that come from Han, for example, they already mastered communication. They mastered, how to manage a team, how to interact with your teammates, how to handle losses, how to react to wins, all this that you learn by losing and losing again and losing, because winning doesn't teach you so much.
Yeah, does that mean that the same applies to other MOBAs, do you think?
Yeah, it does. Every time you lose, you get stronger. If you're a competitor, or you just quit. But if you keep on playing, you just get stronger.
But I meant in the sense that other MOBAs can be played, that maybe they can come and play Dota 2. Do you feel that there's still that ability for them?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe there are some, like they can't play the game because of some mechanical issues. I mean, it might happen, but I don't think it's the hardest part. I think in a year you can probably get really good skill-wise, and there's room for improvement, obviously. Right. But you have what it takes to compete at a very decent level, I say.
I think a lot of it comes down to mentality as well, which is why we see a lot of players both from CS and from Dota be good at the other game. Like we have S4, who was global elite in CS, and the CS players in NIP played Dota and have like 5.5k or something. Like
Forest in
if you have the mentality,
Forest in NIP, I think is probably the most talented video game I've ever known in my life. He seems to be stupidly good at everything he does. It's really annoying, actually. But you're right. Some players just have that ability, don't have that pro mindset, as it will.
And they also
play almost anything
how to get better.
Yeah.
How do you improve in a game? What's the right mindset? What do you look at? It's the most important thing.
Yeah, and then Sumail also added on the practice regime. He's quite happy to sit there for 9 hours. He treats that as practice, as a regimen. He has to sit down and do that. It's not always easy. He doesn't always enjoy those hours that he has to learn new heroes or do things that he perhaps doesn't enjoy doing. He just wants to play for fun, but he realises that actually that's going to help him improve and become a better player.
And mentioning to what you said there, like spending 9 hours or something for practice, some people think that, just because I played, 8 hours in a row and 9 hours in a row, I should automatically get good. That's not really true. You need to actually think of it as practice and handle it that way. Criticize yourself. That is like the most important thing, and be open to just finding ways to improve.
Interestingly, where do you go from? There are a number of players here who have become legends basically in the game this year and previous years, and they've become legends based on things that they've almost changed within the game. Things that no developer could ever understand why they would do what they did, and these guys have figured them out. And they've done that, and they've become signature builds or signature heroes that these particular players have done. How do you transition to that level of meta and actually start creating the game, if you know what I mean?
I mean, you have to be confident on yourself as well. Like, if I would take Blade Mail, like Prophet, for example, because no one actually does that, like, for quite some time, and in pubs, people starting to use it, and, like, pro players look at the build, and they feel like, this is actually really good, and it becomes a thing. So I think the first step is to be really confident about your own ability and have a lot of trust on your mindset.
Yeah, because some players are very creative. Others are studious, and they will look at things that are going on and actually pick from that and make their builds or choices of heroes and their picks and bans. But others will actually literally completely break the meta and change everything involved in it and make the developers, make the Ice Frog probably go mad actually every time he has to go. Damn it, guys! Stop breaking the game. I've got to go and fix something else, or I've got to change this, or I've got to change that. But that's amazing. That's a whole new level of pro player.
But that's why Dota is such a beautiful game, because the possibilities are endless. Like with the heroes, the spell usage, how you skill, how you place your lanes, the strategy you go for. You know, you think things in Dota, for example. Now we see it's very classic to pull or to stack camps. It wasn't classic back in the days. No one would stack ever. No one thought about it. You know, stuff like this that actually changed the game completely. Then the game it's completely different. You know, you had Clockworks. They would go for Rocket. They would never skill cogs. Yeah. Now they start skilling cogs because one dude, maybe he misclicked. I don't even know. You know, he clicked the cogs and then he blocked the creep. He was like, that's pretty good. You know, and then it became a thing. But it's always like this in Dota. Yeah. And there's also, you know, one phenomenon which is when people start playing a hero a lot, then they start playing it really well and better than we used to play it. So we start understanding, you know, the complete potential of the hero, the full potential of it.
I mean, Dota is a game where it's built around things like this. I've played it for roughly 12 years or something. I don't know exactly the date I started. But I remember when denying became a thing. Like, just think about that for a second. No one thought about, I can kill my own creeps. You don't get any gold or experience. Yeah. Like, you used to be able to deny from full HP. Because no one ever thought about that. Then suddenly, the developer back then, I believe it was Guinsu who was making the game back then, he just like, we need to make something against this because it's obviously overpowered. So it would make it so you get hexed when you try to deny your creep when it was full HP. Yeah. So that was like a temporary solution. This also worked for teammates because you could attack your teammates, not just when they were poisoned. So Dota has like come a long way, and all of it is kind of through the type of innovations that you have.
That's why you can BKB and kill your own teammates.
Exactly. You could BKB. I did that as Lycan. BKB, kill your teammates because you couldn't get hexed when you were magic immune, of course.
That sometimes
okay. Mind equals blown now.
It might be useful. I can think of situations where I wish I could kill my teammates.
Only if we're playing as a 5 here, though, and I would be the one you were killing. Pretty sure that's
probably.
That
I'm sorry, I misclicked, Paul.
Yeah, no. I would actually probably agree with you as well. No, please get rid of me from this game because I'm actually dragging us down. It's interesting. I think we should probably get together at some point and play a game just for fun.
My pleasure.
And maybe record it. We'll see. We're going to take a quick break on the analysis desk for now and head over to Casey, who's down on the concourse.
Hello. We were just trying to decide how we wanted to pose for when the camera came. Did you decide?
Yeah, just, gotta keep going. Just like Gangnam Style, just everything.
Let's do it. I want to see it. Go ahead. Full Gangnam Style. Go.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Why is nobody helping me right now?
Somebody get in there and help him.
Yeah, come on, just get under me. Yeah.
Okay, I said Gangnam Style, not twerking, but that's good. Is this your twerk or your hula hoop?
Oh. Look, this is the champion twerker. You can't just say
I'm sorry, say that again?
This is the champion twerker. You can't just go around saying stuff like that.
I deny that.
Do you know this guy?
No.
I can't believe you would say that to me. We came into this arena today, together. That's not true, I'm lying.
You're a liar.
Yeah, that happens.
Why don't you show us your cosplay? Let's see, turn around.
Yeah, my no muscles.
Oh yeah, that's muscles. Yeah, that's good. Can I try wielding your axe and you can use my microphone? Come on, here we go. Do you know how to use that?
A microphone?
Yeah.
Well, I know you talking to it.
No, that's good. Yeah. That's good. Okay, now how do I hold these?
Any way you want. I don't know. However you want to slice people up.
What about like an airport worker, like this?
You could do that.
Like that?
Yeah. If you had to cut up a type of salami, what type of salami would you cut up?
A Dota salami?
Good answer. Yeah.
I have no idea what we're doing.
Yeah.
But this is great. You look fantastic. Hey, where did you all go? No, you're coming back. Come on back. Tell me about what you think of the tournament so far from the gameplay that you've seen. Let's talk mostly of yesterday. Any big surprises for you?
I thought the Navi game was great. They played a lot better than I thought they would, and it was